On today's episode of How To's at Ear and Hearing, we'll be looking at how to change the domes, filters, and batteries on your Oticon hearing aids. So if this is something you're interested in learning, this is the right video for you. Okay, so the first thing we want to be doing is changing the dome. So you want to be taking your fingernail, putting it under the dome, and going under the inside. You can actually see a small lip in there, and prying up and over. That will take out the dome. So once you've removed the old dome, you want to be taking a brand new dome from your pack, pulling off the tab, grabbing the dome out, and taking a look. So in the new dome, you will be able to see a little donut, a little round circle in the middle, and you want to be taking the speaker and pressing it at an angle and pushing it in. It may be a bit hard for the first few times, but after a bit of practice, it gets pretty easy. Once again, pushing it at an angle and pushing it in like that. Okay, so now that we know how to change domes, we want to be looking at how to change the wax filters. And these little white things prevent wax from going into the speakers and clogging it up. And depending on whether your ears are waxy or not, you may need to change these every 2, 3, or even 6 months. Your audiologist should be able to advise you on that. The two main filters which are currently used are the ProWax and MiniFit ProWax. But this process will also work on most other Oticon hearing aids. So if we pop open the MiniFit ProWax, we can see that it's a little turtle-like shape with some black tabs. And if we pop open the traditional ProWax, you can see that these are gray. For the Oticon Opn S that I'm currently using, it uses a MiniFit ProWax. So we'll be changing that out today. So if you take the little puck, pull on one of the tabs, this should come out. The new filter is on the longer end with a little dot on it, and the old filter gets placed on the shorter end. So what you have to do is you have to take the shorter end, gently press it in to the body and pull it out. That will pull out the wax filter. Once you've done that, gently push the new one in and pull it out. One of the mistakes that we commonly see in clinic is that people are a bit too rough with this. So when they place it in, they kind of wiggle it around. And for the first few times, that's okay because the plastic is quite strong for the first few months. But after a few months, if you continue to yank it and push it in left and right, what can happen is that this filter holder gets quite loose and the filter just doesn't hold anymore. And when that happens, you will have to go back to your audiologist to get this replaced, and it is quite a pricey replacement. So the last thing I want to be looking at is the battery. How do we change batteries? The most common battery type is the 312 style battery. Whether you have a size 10 or size 13 battery, the process is the same. So if we pop open the back door and tip out one of these batteries, you can see that on one side it is flat and on the other it's rounded. On the flat side it always has this sticker. So if you place the battery inside the hearing aid with the sticker facing up and peel that off there, you'll always get it in the right direction. So when you close the door, the hearing aid will turn on. One common mistake I see new users and even some experienced users doing is that they often place the battery in the wrong way, so that the rounded side is facing up. The problem with this is that, number one, it is not facing the right direction, so the hearing aid won't turn on. Number two, although it can go in a little bit, if you force it anymore, the battery door will break. So to avoid this, always remember that the flat side is going on the top and make sure there's no resistance when it's going in. There may be a little bit of a click, but make sure that you're not really forcing the door in. Otherwise, most likely you will have it in the wrong direction. So thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of How To's at Ear and Hearing. If you're interested in finding out more information about hearing health, hearing aids, and everything in between, please scroll down and subscribe to always be updated on the very latest in hearing, health, and technology.